Hello readers, I'm Amy, and today we are talking about Find Layla by Meg Ellison. I have been so excited for this book. So I was at my local bookstore and I see the Book of the Unnamed Midwife, and I think it has this gorgeous kind of galaxy Arctic cover, and it's got midwife in the title, so that looks like something that I'll like. And I read it and I loved it, and I read the next two books in the series and I loved it, and I thought she was a genius. And then I heard that she was coming out with another book this year, and it was a YA, and I'm like, that's okay. I'm not huge on YA, but I'm gonna read it anyways because I love Meg Ellison and I think she's brilliant. So I emailed the publishing company like 6 months ago. And then I got a hold of one of my friends, hey, so I emailed the publishing company and I haven't heard back. And she's like, well, they probably don't have an advanced reader's copy prepared yet. Give it a couple of months and ask again. So I did, and I got an advanced reader's copy of Find Layla. They're like, here's the PDF for Kindle format. It has to be Kindle for me. I can't do the PDF format. It's so much trouble, and usually can't get it to work even whenever I do get it on overdrive. Like, it's a whole thing. But anyways, I was able to download it onto my Kindle off of NetGalley, and it was just brilliant. I read the book, and yeah, I'm gonna be that person. I pre-ordered 10 copies of this book. That is going to be one for each building on the campus that I work at, for each of the lodges of kids to read, because I think it's really important that kids get a chance to read Find Layla because it was brilliant. So this book is following Layla. She is not in a great situation. I don't know how to explain it. To me, it looked like her house was kind of a hoarding behavior sort of a thing. Like, her mom wasn't actually hoarding anything. She wasn't like, oh, you can't throw any of this stuff away. But it's more in that they never cleaned up after themselves. I don't really know what to call that. I don't know the language around that. But basically, the house is a mess. Everything is breaking down. She has to suck on the end of a hose to siphon out the water in their bathroom and get it to drain into the tub. Otherwise, there's water all over the floor, and when there's water all over the floor, they stack newspapers everywhere, and then you have these soaking wet newspapers that are just being ground into the carpet. And they haven't opened the fridge in actual years because it stopped working one day, and they just never cleaned up after it. And the front door doesn't work anymore, but they couldn't fix the front door until the kitchen was clean, and then everything just did a domino effect after that, and they let it go. Her mom is abusive of her and her little brother. Her little brother hasn't learned yet how to deal with it. He doesn't realize, like, oh, when she's yelling at you, just don't say anything. Just immediately start working. Start cleaning up, start doing whatever she wants you to do. Don't say anything. Like, he hasn't learned that behavior yet. And they have to, like, climb up the stairs, I think on a fire escape or something, and go across this foot of empty space that leads to 2 stories down to the ground, and like climb onto the other balcony and go in through the window above their air conditioning unit to get into their house. And it's a lot. You've got some serious childhood trauma going on here. But then the angle at which Meg Ellison talks about this was so good. So this girl wants to be a scientist when she gets older. She loves science. She immerses herself in science. She talks about all of the Latin names for these animals that she knows. She talks about systems of mitosis. She ends up eventually joining in a science competition throughout this book, and that's how she addresses her home. She thinks about the biome that her home is, about the environment of her home. She thinks about the taxonomy of her name, of the names of others. And that scientific angle on this book, of this female character who is obsessed with science and who looks at her home and discusses the kind of environment that it is, it was just so brilliant. I loved that angle on it. It made it so interesting. And she talks about people that she knows at school, because of course she's got all of these bullies. Like, oh, your hair is always ratty and greasy and awful. How does it get like that? I wish I could do my hair like that. Like, people are just being awful. And she's got some adults in her life who are concerned about her, but they don't know if anything's really wrong because she won't talk about it because her life is very personal for her. And this is the kind of story that you just don't see. And it's the kind of story that needs to be told. And this book is coming out on September 1st, 25 days before my birthday. I pre-ordered 10 copies because I need a bunch of copies for work, and I'm going to have my own personal copy. I don't know what I'm going to do with the extra copy. I'm going to give it to someone, I'm sure. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. I will do a giveaway for a copy of Find Layla because all of you need a chance to read it. Now I have to remember to do a giveaway because I've already told myself that's what I'm going to do. That is all I have to say about this. Just please read Meg Ellison. She's just brilliant. Meg Ellison, if you're watching this, I love you. I would love to have a conversation with you about this book. You are brilliant. Keep doing you. So please like, subscribe, be my friend on social media, hear more about books that I am excited about. I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, friends.